Hey everyone, Seth Campbell here. Welcome back to Segway Plays The Legend of Zelda the Wind Waker. In the last episode, we fought the wind god Cyclos and learned the Ballad of Gales, which allows us to quickly warp around the Great Sea. And we opened and discovered the Nintendo Gallery, where we can get figurines made of basically anything and anyone in this game. But in this episode, it's finally time to go to the Forsaken Fortress to rescue our sister Errol and the other missing girls. Just one little cool thing to note, the King of Red Lions will come to this little spot at the bottom of the Nintendo Gallery after you come out of it, so he knows where you're going. Now, I did mention that since we got this whole warp thing, we can basically just warp much closer to the Forsaken Fortress, but because there are a couple of blank spots on our sea chart on the way, and it's directly northwest, I think we are just going to sail there the normal way, although I'll cut some of it. I'll cut the irrelevant parts out, so you guys don't have to just watch endless sailing. The first thing we want to do, incidentally, as he mentioned he would, the Great Deku Tree has marked the islands where the Koroks are with these little leaves. So that's good to know. Incidentally, just to bring this up, as I was recording after I finished recording the last episode, my sister walked through, and she told me that she has actually, while playing this game herself, tried to sail to Great Fish Isle before the story takes you there, and, from the Forbidden Woods on, basically, and the King of Red Lions just won't let you do it. You start going in that direction, they'll say, Link, what are you doing? We must focus, whatever. So it's interesting. I suppose it occurred to me, she's studied engineering and everything, so she's very much a genius, and she always has to try everything for herself. So I should have guessed that this would be something she'd have done. But anyway, here is the fish man. If I can just get over to him. Where did he go? Here we are. Oi, small fry. Private Oasis. Midnight at the Oasis. I got a story about that song, I'll tell you in a minute. So, tell me, small fry, have you heard of the golden set of Triumph forks? Oh, not this again. It's right there, I tell you. A chart that shows you where they are, in that house. If you want it, you better go in there and scour the place from floor to ceiling. And that's all the info I got to offer. So yeah, Midnight at the Oasis. This song has been a running joke in my family for a long time because it is one of a handful of songs that my mother absolutely hates. Because it was on the radio so often when she was a kid. She just cannot, or I don't know if it was even when she was a kid, but just younger. And it drove her nuts. She just grew to hate it. And so naturally, come 2005, 2006, 2007, when iPods are available and affordable and our family starts getting them, my mother, who's less technologically savvy, entrusted my dad, my siblings, and I to set up her iPod for her. What do you think we did? Yes, that's right. We purchased from the iTunes store Midnight at the Oasis by Maria Maldur and secretly put it onto her iPod before giving it to her. I mean, she appreciated the humor in it, but she was also less than thrilled to hear it coming up. And I just want to say in defense of the song that I think it's actually it's a nice song, and and my mother agrees. She doesn't think it's a bad song. It was just the sheer overexposure of it and the association, with just the frustration of hearing it so often has just permanently tainted it in her ears. So, but yeah, it's a fun little song. Check it out. But that's the Midnight at the Oasis story. So every time the word Oasis comes up, rather than think of the artist Oasis, who I'm honestly just not familiar with, I always find some way to connect it to Midnight at the Oasis, because that has been a staple running joke in our family. As a matter of fact, at Christmas time, I would always, whenever the week or so before Christmas comes around, my mother loves to decorate the house, and before we had like an iCloud music library of playlists that we could all access from our phones, we would set it up on somebody's iPod, and because of limited space and everything, we would just put the Christmas music onto the iPod in a playlist for the month of December, basically, and then take it off to clear up room for more music. And so whenever it was my mother's iPod, the first year we did that, I put all the Christmas music in a playlist, and then I put Midnight at the Oasis in the playlist as well, and then I just waited when it would come up on shuffle. And so it was basically a musical time bomb that I'd created with that song. And I would continue to do that every year for a while, although I always chose a different song. Either something that was a well-known joke or something that I knew she couldn't stand, like Double Vision by Foreigner. And that one played on Christmas morning, which was the best possible result, because we had tons of music, so you never knew when it was going to come up. Another one I did, Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley, which was great because I got a text from my mother saying I just got rickrolled while putting up Christmas decorations. This was before I'd gone home. So yeah, there's a certain amount of deviousness involved with music in our family. Since we're all such fanatical music listeners, these kind of things happen. So yeah, long tangent, but hopefully that's made the sailing journey. Actually, I didn't actually have to cut anything out. What do you know? Because it was that storytelling. It passes the time. So that's a little insight into the Campbell household. Like I said, it's really hard to do it now because we have these sort of universal playlists that all our accounts are connected to, and our just access from our phones, and it's really obvious, even to the less technologically savvy, if something's been added to a playlist. So, but it was fun while it lasted. Anyway, we're here on this new island, and here's Fishman. Oi, small fry. Yeah, I've heard. So have we. Mother and Child Isles. They say that inside the ring of rock that makes up the perimeter of that island, there lives an incredibly beautiful fairy. But the thing is, nobody's ever met her. Supposedly, the only way you'll ever meet her is to take a ride on a whirlwind and drop inside that rock perimeter from the sky above. Doesn't sound easy, Fry. And that's all the info I got to offer. Well, that is handy little information right there. So, if we were to use a whirlwind and drop inside of that island, perhaps we could meet the fairy. That is good to remember. The only other thing on this island is another coral with a... Whoa! Uh-oh. I need a weapon. Blue choo-choo attack. The only other thing on this island, as our map indicated, is a coral with a little withered deku tree sprout. Oh, says I haven't seen that. How you, huh? See the forest trees my fellow Koroks have planted are withering? So it's true. As you can see, the forest tree I have planted is doing the same. I can't help but think that this too is the result of Ganondorf's evil plan. Could it be? Okay, that's interesting. This is... a bit of a sequence break, I guess. Regardless, in order to bring the life back into this poor withered sapling, I will certainly need forest water. Swordsman, could you please go to the forest haven and bring back some of the water that flows around the great Deku tree? Could you sprinkle it on this tree? Please? I beg of you. Okay, so this is another island where we need to bring forest water. So that's good to remember. Now, fortunately, like... this is not an expiring quest. Like, if you take too long, the trees don't actually die. But, I mean, if you picked up on what was said there, then you know what gave me pause. If you didn't, I'm just going to leave it for now, and we'll talk about it before too long. But anyway, up ahead of us there... is the familiar silhouette of the Forsaken Fortress, and these are exploding barrels. Watch out for those. They pop up randomly and they explode. Whoa, boy. Steer clear. Yeah, honestly, I'm hoping night falls before we get to the Forsaken Fortress, because you can do it at day or night, and to me, good. It's gonna be night. We were close enough. That's another thing, incidentally, that I'll bring up is if you're approaching somewhere where it stays either day or night, so namely a village or the Forsaken Fortress, time will essentially fast forward if you're close. If it's evening or morning, it'll fast forward to either night or day. Now, as far as the Forsaken Fortress goes, it is possible to do this return visit during the day, but the ambience is just totally messed up by that, I think. I think the searchlights and everything are super important. Actually, I know it's possible to come to the Forsaken Fortress during the day, but maybe you... No, actually, I don't think you can do it. I think it's going to become night automatically. Okay, so yeah, disregard that. We'll talk about that later. Now, but here's the thing. We have a lot of cannons firing at us, and as I indicated earlier, generally speaking, if something can fire at us, we can fire back at it to destroy it. And this is another place where already having the upgraded bomb bag, the twice upgraded bomb bag, mind you, comes in really handy. So, there's a somewhat flimsy looking wooden board over there. Perhaps we can take advantage of that and blast our way in. We're not exactly being as subtle as we were last time, are we? Ganon has likely been made aware of our little incursion already. Probably because we blew up one of his walls. But you have the Master Sword. That sword shall shine in the darkness, casting back evil. With it in your hands, none can keep you from rescuing your sister. Do not be afraid. Well, here we are. We are back after all this time in the Forsaken Fortress. But this time we have a sword, so we don't need to worry about being captured. However, they seem to have instituted some sort of protective measures that were not here last time, which is smart of them. I'm not going to mock their security system anymore, because you guys remember how that went for me last time. But as you can see, stepping into the searchlight, or being caught in the searchlight, does not get you captured, which is handy. However, since we can't go that way, uh-oh. Well, that... Okay, this guy is clearly not friendly. This music is one of the weirdest tracks in the games, in this whole game. I don't know what the deal with it is. It's very cool. It's just very unusual. It's just, this guy is Phantom Ganon. He is here to make our life miserable. But you can basically play tennis with him, and if you've ever fought Phantom Ganon in other games, this is kind of always the way you go about it. You volley his balls of energy back and forth. Okay, that didn't work. Until it eventually takes him down. Now, take a moment to listen to the music here. Every time you return his volley, the music modulates up a half step. I think that is so cool. Now, you may be wondering, why am I not taking a picture of Phantom Ganon, pictograph? Suffice it to say, this is not actually a cutoff point for him. I'll just leave it at that. Now, the timing on this can be a little difficult. And he can launch you off into the water. So, yeah, you want to keep your wits about you with this guy. Honestly, this music kind of reminds me more of like I think this game came out first, but a little bit of Super Mario Sunshine. You know, like some of the battles against the ink creatures and the Gooper Blooper and that type of stuff. Feels more suited to that than a traditional Zelda score. But again, I really like it. Got almost sort of like a fusion blues feel about it. Anyway. Honestly, I think you can help yourself a little bit by getting farther away from him, because it gives you a little more time to judge how quickly the orb is coming at you. And obviously it gets faster with each volley. There he goes. I remember reading that the writing on his sword actually says something. And I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but I'm going to put a little graphic notation on screen now saying what it is. But anyway, that unlocked a couple of doors, even though that battle took quite a bit out of us. And it made this chest appear. You got the Skull Hammer. Set it to and use it with Y, Z, or X. This mighty hammer can break things and pound obstacles into the ground. Some enemies even get stunned by the shockwaves that it causes when you pound the ground with it. Oh boy, you heard that, didn't you? You heard that noise. You know what that means. But yes, we have the Skull Hammer, and we can use it. And it is really satisfying. Particularly with enemies like Minblins. Now. Oh, that's how the dungeon map is not activating. I guess because we're outside in this area, the sea chart is still going. But we have already been to this dungeon earlier, so there's really nothing new. Although, I guess the shortcut I had originally created has been reset. Now, this is the one consequence of staying in the spotlight, is it'll make Mimblins continue to appear. Now, if you've been following the train of my music references before, you know what I am just itching to do right now. So, everyone sing it with me. I wanna be your sledgehammer! Oh yeah, that is satisfying. So that is... Whoa! I've never actually... that was an accident. You can swing it sideways. I have never actually tried hitting those stakes sideways like that. I've never seen it do that. But yeah, so that is how you pound those out of your way. So those obstacles and switches and particularly annoying enemies, you can just... As Yzma would say, smash it with a hammer! That is one of the best Disney movies. That is one of my absolute favorite Disney movies, The Emperor's New Groove. I was having this discussion with some of my classmates in one of our Berkeley classes when we had a few minutes of downtime. And it was amazing to me, like, everyone either ranked that at the top or they hadn't seen it. Like, it was never in the middle for anybody, but yeah, if you haven't watched The Emperor's New Groove, it is very well worth your time. Among the funniest Disney movies, and it's got a great cast. It's David Spade and Eartha Kitt and John Goodman and Patrick Warburton, and it's superbly done. Now, as you may recall, our goal is to get to the top of the Forsaken Fortress. These guys are just going to keep coming, I guess, whether you're in the spotlight or not yet. So, you could go around and defeat all the bokoblins and shut the searchlights down, but there's really no point in doing that now, because you really don't have anything to be afraid of at this point, because you have a sword. The enemies are going to be a little harder. Like, here's a green bokoblin where there wouldn't have been one before. But, actually, I should have been... I should have the grappling hook out so I can get joy pendants from these guys. And again, little security measures have been taken, but now that we have lots of weapons, it's really nothing to worry about. Okay, yeah, here's the dungeon map. So there's no new chests or anything. All we have to do is make our way back... Ow. To where we have already been. And man, this just feels good. Like, if you're having a bad day and you play this game, just take out the hammer. And the great thing is the controller rumbles a little bit when it makes impacts. So, you know, just go around and do this. It really relieves some tension. The other thing is you'll notice the swinging lanterns have been removed, so we need a different way across, but we have a Deku Leaf now that we did not have before. You notice there were some stakes there in the ground blocking the path. That's just because it depends on how you choose to go. There are little impediments like cannons or another one of these stone moblins with laser eyes. You know, they've done their best. I gotta give them credit for that. They have done their best to upgrade their security system. The trouble is, they based their assumption of what they needed on our state of existence last time, instead of with all the new weapons we have now. So, unfortunately for them, they are no match for us. However, somewhere around here should be... I thought it appeared around here. Oh, it's down there. Yeah, that is a new type of enemy that we will meet if we don't take the time to meet it here, which I don't see any reason to. We will see before long, and we will not like it. This Moblin is doing a good job of blocking me. I'm having trouble with this guy. Ah! I pressed the wrong button! I finally had it. Oh, come on! Come on! There we go. Gotta get that timing down. But yeah, I am not particularly inclined to go after that pool of inky darkness down there. Don't worry, we will learn what that is in time. And we will wish we hadn't. But for now, we can continue to the top of the fortress, and wow, this has been much easier this time than it was last time. Of course, also, I have a better sense of how this fortress is laid out, so I didn't waste a tremendous amount of time making things harder than they had to be. Oh, will you just go away? This is in case you, I guess, had gone through the door instead of going up the stairs and taking the lower route and somehow managed to avoid all of these things before. They want to show you that, no, you have to use your hammer for these. I hit that guy in the backswing. Okay, so yes, here is... as I said, you know, the first time you go through, when getting caught in the searchlight meant instantly being thrown in jail, this is why you had to turn them off. Like, why it was not a choice. Because if you tried to sidle along these platforms, you would get caught instantly by these searchlights. But, fortunately, that is no longer a matter of concern for us. Now, I actually discovered that I had missed a little, I guess, shortcut or something. I failed to address this the first time around, but if you... I guess it's not even a shortcut, really. It's just, if you fall down here, there's a way back up. Actually, no, could this be a shortcut? No, okay. So, what would have happened if I had fallen down here the first time I was here? There would have been a little block that I could, or a crate that I could push down and align with that ladder, so that would make it a shortcut. So if I did get all the way up here and then get caught by the searchlight, I wouldn't have to go all the way around again just to get back there. So yes, that's something I noticed that I failed to address the first time we were here, and it's really of no real consequence to us at this point, but being a completionist and someone who values being thorough and also admitting to your mistakes, I figured I should just bring that up. But anyway. Incidentally, I think I figured out the secret. I mentioned before that I've sometimes had trouble when you stop sidling. Link essentially tries to jump sometimes, which can make... Whoa! Oh! Oh! Oh dear. Well, that shouldn't have happened. Okay. These cannons are causing more of a problem than I anticipated they would be. Actually, you know what? Let's make things a little easier for ourselves, just so we don't have to do that again. Where are they? Again, this is where the illustrated launch arc in the HD remake would come in handy. Here, where are they coming from? Is that one up there, or is that just... No, that's just torchlight. Okay. It's hard. It's hard to see, because they're the rings that are lighter, and I thought maybe that was another cannon, but it was just the glow from a torch. That, however, is definitely a cannon. Come on. Okay. That should make things easier on us. So, now, I will cut to the point where we're all the way back up there. And this is where being able to recreate that shortcut I was just talking about would come in really handy. Well, we're back up here, and I've just discovered that these stake/nail things reset themselves when you go in and out of the fortress, I guess, which is weird. So hopefully the bomb cannons have not done the same thing, although I kind of doubt they have. Well, we're gonna see. Okay, well, they're back. Okay, so just have to hope their aim isn't great, but it is. You know what? Actually, I'm wondering something. Maybe well, let's see if I can make it across. Oh, no, almost. Okay, if I don't make it this time, I'm gonna try something. I think, in hindsight, maybe I remember this wrong, and you do have to switch off the searchlights to prevent them from... to prevent the bombs from seeing you. So I am going to go do that now. Let's see if this is the searchlight we're getting caught in. So let's see if defeating the Bokoblin up here and turning this off makes a difference. Because I think, now that I think about it, I guess it does. I hadn't remembered needing to do this. And again, that shortcut that was available to us earlier would be very welcome, right? Actually, you know what? I wonder. Maybe I don't need it. I betcha this will work. Which way is the wind blowing? Okay, it's blowing close enough to that direction that I'm willing to try this. I want to see if this works. This never occurred to me before. Come on, catch the ladder, catch the ladder. Can you catch the... Ah, nope. Angle wasn't good enough. I want to see if this works. If it doesn't, on this next try, then I'll just give up and cut back to the point on the ledge. But I think this should work. Yes! Ha ha! Okay, so there is a workaround for that crate no longer being there. Alright, and now that I have deactivated that searchlight, perhaps the bomb cannons will no longer be so easily trained on me. What is it about the Forsaken Fortress that makes me remember things so wrong? You know, between the last visit and just the idiocy of all the time I wasted there. And now this. But anyway, one thing I've been trying to talk about multiple times is I've told you that I get nervous when Link is sidling. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, that didn't work, I guess. Okay. Huh. And the cannons respawned. So, what's going on here? How do I do it? Now I'm really and these things didn't reset the way the other ones did. I'm really kind of confused at this point. What I have been trying to say regarding the sidling, I'm just gonna spit this out. Oh. And I'm gonna try to take out the other searchlights and see if maybe that implies that the bokoblins manning the cannons are also defeated or something. But in regards to the sidling, sometimes I've had problems where you get to the end of the ledge you're trying to sidle along, and Link will essentially jump forward and thus jump off the ledge. What I've discovered seems to be a good method to avoid that is letting go of the control stick before you let go of the A button, which you have to hold to sidle. Let's see. That one's still on. I bet I can... the wind is going the wrong way, but maybe I can cheat this a little? Yeah, I guess I can. Good. Let's see if this will make a difference. I don't remember this being necessary or this difficult. I mean, do you have to destroy the cannons and then find a way up here without going inside the fortress at all? Because that seems unnecessarily complicated. And I really don't remember having to put that much effort into it. Anyway, I'll use this moment to tell another story, actually. A story of... back the first time I played this game, I had essentially gotten... Uh-oh, out of magic, that was bad. And now I'm in the water. Okay, so... The first time I had gotten this game, as I said, I got it with a GameCube for Christmas. And so I had gotten up to here in the week between Christmas and New Year's. And for New Year's, the family was going up to a place, to my aunt's place. And I packed up the GameCube and everything to continue playing. And in the course of packing it, I forgot one vital piece. The memory card. I did not pack the memory card. And that is the perfect example of why the external device being required for memory for the GameCube could be so infuriating. Because I had the game, the controllers, the console. We finally figured out how to set the GameCube up and at this with the old TV at this place. And then we realized, oh no. Oh no. We forgot. And by we, I mean I forgot the memory card. So, for the whole time we stayed at my aunt's place after New Year's, I was at this point in the game wondering what happens next, what do you do next, and not being able to do anything about it. And so, basically we tried playing these games without a memory card, but there's really no point in that because you can't save. Anyway, that's another story from my childhood. But I'm going to now cut until we get back to those sidling ledges and just hope that maybe it'll go better this time now that we've shut down all the searchlights. Okay, here we go again. And I'm also dying to know why these spikes reset and none of the others are... Well, I guess all of them except the ones down in the main courtyard area seem to reset, because the ones inside have been resetting as well. So I don't know what's going on. All I know is I'm getting really tired of the Forsaken Fortress. It has been the bane of my existence over the course of this Let's Play. Now, the cannons are still there because they respawn. Wow. I guess that really is it. You have to defeat the Bokoblins running the searchlights. I'll be darned. I guess I just kind of automatically did that as a kid, figuring it'd make things easier. I didn't know you had to do that. Well, we have made it back to the top. Oh, for the love of... I hear Minblins. We have made it back to the top of the Forsaken Fortress, despite more frustration and idiocy on my part. Where are they? I can hear them. And it certainly took us a while. So, I say we call this episode here, and in the next episode, we will enter this big door. And hopefully, our sister is still in there. And this time, we can get her and the others out and back home. If these Mimblins will just leave me alone long enough to finish off the episode, I will see you next time.